Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into a really specific case study. It's from a legal firm, Bedsore.Law, looking hard at accountability in elder care neglect.
That's right. And our goal here isn't just to, look at the settlement amount, which was significant.
Mm.
We want to unpack the actual systemic neglect in the case of Robin
Okay.
to understand what failures led to this $1.25 million settlement in California and what it tells us about, well, wrongful death litigation in these situations, specifically around bed sores, falls, that kind of thing.
Right. So let's start with Robin. The source describes her as a dependent adult, early onset dementia, severe cognitive decline. And what really stands out is this wasn't just one bad place.
No, it was several nursing facilities over 2 years. That's a key part of the systemic picture.
So what specifically happened to her? What were the failures?
Well, the details are quite disturbing, frankly. She developed stage 3 and stage 4 bed sores or pressure injury.
Stage 4, it's down to the bone, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Extremely severe and, according to the investigation, entirely preventable. It stemmed from a basic failure, not repositioning her, not turning her regularly as required.
Okay, but facilities might argue, that patients with dementia are challenging.
Yeah.
How did the legal team distinguish neglect from, say, unavoidable complications?
That's where the pattern comes in. It wasn't just the bed sores, terrible as they were. It was poor hygiene failures to bathe her, change diapers consistently, and then inadequate nutrition and dehydration. Critically, that dehydration led to a severe UTI, a urinary tract infection, and then a kidney infection.
Ah,
And those conditions, stemming from that basic lack of hydration and care, are what ultimately caused her wrongful death. So it's a chain of failures in fundamental care.
so it really moves beyond individual mistakes to something bigger. How did the litigation prove that? The source mentions extensive investigation and aggressive litigation.
Yeah, they had to connect the dots. They focused on showing repeated failures to meet basic care standards like the repositioning protocols, but also, crucially, inadequate management oversight.
Meaning the leadership wasn't ensuring the rules were followed.
Precisely. It points to a culture where cutting corners or ignoring protocols was tolerated, or at least not effectively stopped. They documented systematic violations of state and federal regulations.
Right.
The goal wasn't just about Robin, tragic as her case was, but holding these negligent facilities accountable at an institutional level.
And that systemic focus led to the outcome, the $1.25 million settlement. The source notes this gave the family closure and a sense of justice.
Yes, and Robin's granddaughter, Emily G., provided a testimonial. She highlighted how the firm fought tirelessly, really relentlessly, and treated the family with compassion throughout.
That combination seems important, the tough advocacy, but also the human element.
Absolutely. And it brings up another important point mentioned: access. For families going through this, the legal costs can be, well, prohibitive. So firms like this often offer a free consultation initially, and they work on what's called a contingency basis. No recovery, no fee.
Which basically means the lawyers only get paid if they actually win the case or secure a settlement.
Exactly. It removes that huge upfront financial barrier for families seeking justice against often large, well-resourced facilities. It's part of how millions can be recovered for families who otherwise couldn't afford to fight.
So summing this up, this deep dive really shows the devastating impact when elder care systems fail, but also the legal tools available to fight back against that systemic neglect.
It really does. It demonstrates how detailed investigation and litigation can bring specific failures to light and force accountability.
So where does that leave us? What's the bigger picture thought here?
Well, think about the details we discussed. The
Mhm.
systematic violations, the lack of oversight, the specific documented harm to Robin. When legal action successfully targets these deep institutional issues, it sends ripples. So the question for you listening is this: how does the very real threat of this kind of high-stakes litigation, built on solid evidence of patient harm, actually influence regulators and potentially push the entire industry towards better care standards? How does documenting cases like Robin's change the game for everyone else?